well and having the most incredible day. As always, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be going through all of the books I read throughout December. Now, December for me, I think, was my worst reading month of 2022. I think even in May when I started reading I still got through 5 books, and that was in 2 weeks. So for me, 4 books in 4 weeks isn't great, but obviously to some of you guys that might seem like a lot, so I don't want to make you feel bad at all. Everyone reads in their own speed and things, but for me 4 was quite little. But December for me was so busy. Obviously we had Christmas, obviously New Year's Eve, and I had my hair done. Believe it or not, it looks a mess at the moment, but I had my hair done, I went to London. Like, December was really busy, so I read 4 books, and I feel like these 4 books, I feel quite impressed with myself because I made notes this time. So yeah, we've got 2 4-stars, a 5-star and a 3-star. So without further ado, I am going to dive right in. I hope you guys enjoy and carry on watching. So the first book I read in December was The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. Now, I think this is the 5th book of this kind of series that I've read of Karen's, and I do really like them. They are very, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I don't think I've rated one lower than a 3-star. This is a 3-star rating for me. I really liked the kind of storyline. The plot twists in this book was really good. I did not see it coming. The only thing with this book I would say is that it's quite slow to start with. It's not very gripping straight away. So if you find that you need that to get into a book, you might not finish this one. But I did really like the plot twists, the ending and things like that. There were 2 characters who I'm not going to say because it will kind of spoil it, but there are 2 characters that start to have a romantic relationship, but I kind of wish they had a little bit more of their bonding in this book. It almost comes out of nowhere, and it doesn't really, you don't really get the build up to it, and it almost seems like out of the blue a little bit. Like, you know it's going to happen, but there's not really many interactions with those 2 characters, if that makes sense. But I did really like this book. So this is Aubrey, Millie and Jonah. They're cousins, and essentially they get invited to go and work on their grandma's island. She's incredibly rich, and their parents make them go because all their parents have like lost touch, and they don't speak to the grandma, so it's kind of out of the blue that she wants them to go there. And yeah, it is a really good book. I gave this one 3 stars though. It wasn't like the best book by Karen I've read, but it was a good one, and I'm glad that I read it. So that is the first book I read of the month, and yeah, I don't really know how to rate this book compared to the others. One of Us Is Lying was my absolute favourite, but I think I kind of picked the best one first, and then others don't seem as good. But this one was really good, and again, 3-star. I say it's really good and give it a 3-star. Like, it was really good, but it wasn't my favourite. That's why I give it a 3-star. So that is the first one I read in December. The next book I read in December was Akotar. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I decided to listen to an audiobook for this one, which I actually really regret doing. Now, the audiobooks I listened to were on YouTube. Let me know if you want me to link them down below, because I will. But they're kind of like incredible audiobooks. They put sound effects on them. It is an incredible listening experience. However, I personally found that I didn't really grip with the story as well, or the characters, because of that reason, because I wasn't imagining my own world. It was kind of being played for me, so I didn't really like that very much. And I also found that it made me take over a week to read this book by listening to the audiobooks, bearing in mind that I actually put the audiobooks on 1.75 speed or something, so it was like fast forward than normal. But for some reason it just took me absolutely ages to get through this book, and I don't know why, but I did really enjoy it. A lot of this book was world building, so if you find that quite boring, you might find it quite hard to get into this book. But I had to start the Akotar series. I feel like now is the time. And the reason I actually quite liked the audiobooks was because a lot of the names of places and of people in this book are quite different and quite hard to read, I suppose. So it was quite nice to hear it and understand what it's actually called and what the people are called and stuff. So I did really like this book. Let me see what else I made notes of on my phone. I also put that I'm obsessed with Tamin, however I'm excited to see more of Rysand. So that was basically my notes. I did really like Tamin, however I feel like Rysand, is it Rysand or Rysand? Rysand? Is going to be my favourite character, and I don't know why. I just love a dark and edgy character, so I was always team Spike in Buffy, do you know what I mean? So that's why I kind of love it. But yeah, this was a really, really good book. It definitely lived up to the hype. However, what I would say is that really take your time to understand the story and to really imagine it in your head, because it will make a lot more sense. Because I think a lot of it, when I was listening to the audiobook, if I phased out a little bit, I would be completely lost. So you definitely have to concentrate when reading this book. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. So I gave it 5 stars, and yeah, I'm not disappointed. I am dreading reading the rest of the series though, because a lot of the books are absolutely humongous. I think they're about twice this thickness, so yeah, I'm dreading reading them, but I'm excited at the same time. So yeah, anyway, that is A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm glad I'm on the hype, and it was a 5-star read, so I love that. The next book I read in December was a little bit of a different story for me, because it's not necessarily a romance or anything like that, but that is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. Now, the storyline of this book is a bit of a weird one. It goes back and forth in terms of the timeline, so you see the story from sort of 2001, and then you kind of go back, like forward in time to like 2017, and it kind of goes on like that, if that makes sense. And this is about a girl called Vanessa who falls in love with her English teacher, which I know is a bit of a weird, it's a bit of a weird thing to read about. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the scenes in this were quite hard to read, and it's not that they were necessarily traumatizing to read, but it was almost really weird to read from a perspective of somebody that was falling in love with somebody that you know is like wrong and things like that. It was very bizarre. What did I write on my notes? Yeah, that's basically what I put in my notes. I said that it wasn't too graphic necessarily, but definitely uncomfortable moments. Obviously there are a few graphic bits in this book, which I don't know, it was just a really weird read for me. I gave this one 4 stars because I felt like it was a really good, it was written incredibly well. That's what I would say about this book. It was written so well, and it was so interesting to read from the victim's point of view as opposed to like the adult's point of view. I don't know, you kind of like almost start to understand why she was falling in love with him, which obviously is completely wrong, but it made so much sense, and it was just really, really good. And obviously a lot of this is quite hard to read, and you kind of go into the future and you sort of see where she is now, and it is just a really interesting book. I would say it's definitely worth the read. I can understand why this is a lot of people's favourite book. It's not my favourite book, but I really liked it. I thought it was really interesting and different, and I really liked the sort of style writing. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think Kate Russell wrote it. Was it her mother from like her mum's experience or something? I can't quite remember now. Don't like correct me if I'm wrong down below, but yeah, really good book. If you want a good book that is not necessarily a romance, but it's kind of a real, I don't know, like a thinker book, this is really good. I really enjoyed that. And last but definitely not least, we had Tag Youre Dead by Catherine Foxfield. Now, I literally finished this book last night, so it is all fresh in my memory, and I would say that I really liked this book actually. I gave this one a 4-star. The writing style of this was very similar to the Karen M. McManus books, in that you have multiple POVs in one book, which made it really interesting. The plot twist at the end is what gave this a 4-star. It was currently a 3-star all the way through, but the ending, if you have read Win, Lose, Kill, Die and you know that plot twist, it's kind of a similar plot twist. Without giving it away, you just don't see it coming at all. It is not what you expected at all. And if you've read this book and you knew it was going to happen and you saw it coming, then please let me know, because I had no idea. So essentially what this one is about an internet sensation who has a big party and a girl gets killed or dies at his party, and then a few years later he comes back with kind of a big plan to become famous again. He does like a big, it's hard to explain it, he does like a big city-wide game of tag, and the winner wins £100,000 basically, and things just start to happen. It's more focused on the killing slash death at his party previously, and you kind of find out what happened and what's been going on, but you read it from 3 POVs in this book, which I really, really enjoyed, and you kind of, I just really liked it. The shock at the end kind of had me I just didn't expect it at all. And let me just see what else I wrote in my notes. Yeah, I just put that this book was a really easy read, and again the plot twist was amazing. So yeah, I really liked this book. I gave it 4 stars, and there are multiple by Catherine in this kind of range, so I'm definitely gonna have to pick up the rest now because I think I'm obsessed with it. So those are all of the books I read in December. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on all of these books down below, and also let me know what you read in December because I would love to know as well. And that is everything. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!